Welcome to the Freedive Cafe, episode 153 with Kateryna Sadurska. My name is Donny. I'm the host of the Freedive Cafe. The Freedive Cafe is the long-form interview podcast that explores the backstories, the training, the challenges, and the combined wisdom and personal philosophies of the world's freedivers. You can find the podcast online at freediveandthrive.com and freedivecafe.com, and the audio version is available on all good podcast players. You can find me in Dahab, Egypt, the mecca of the worldwide freediving community, where I offer unique freediving courses and training in apnea, breathwork, yoga, and the freediving lifestyle. Come visit me anytime to begin or continue your journey into depth. Okay, today we are going to talk with world record holder Kateryna Sadurska. I hope you enjoy the interview, filmed on location in Dahab at the Freedive and Thrive Center, also known as the Little Blue. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoy this show, please like and subscribe. Okay, let's dive.
Seems like you just took a random tourist from Dahab and to have a talk.
Yeah, you know what you look like? You look very 80s with the hair and the sunglasses, and you look like the star of a kids TV program, like when I was in the 90s or something like that, and it's very cool. It's very cool. And I think that more world record freedivers should have a bit of style and a bit of class and a bit of funkiness about them too. Kateryna Sadurska, welcome back to the Freedive Cafe.
Yeah.
Really nice to have you here.
Really nice to be back.
Yeah, and this is the first time that we're ever having an interview in what is my new space in Dahab. I think you guys should be able to see that we have a pretty amazing location here over the Lighthouse Bay in Dahab. The weather is absolutely shockingly beautiful right now. We can see Saudi Arabia out there. Yeah, and also I guess this is the Freedive Cafe. We got some tea.
Bedouin tea.
Yeah, which is fitting for the Freedive Cafe in Dahab. I'm a little bit too jacked up on coffee already to have something, so I'm going to stick to water. So welcome back to the Freedive Cafe, episode 153, Kate. Yeah, congratulations on the amazing year that you had. Like I was saying to you the last time we spoke, there was such a lot of shit going on in the freediving world this year, a lot of scandal and, you know, a lot of negative issues in the community and with the organizations and the competitions and so forth. But the highlight of my year was watching your incredible, elegant, no fins dives, breaking world records, coming up clean, smiling, which I think is how a deep free dive should be done. And how has it been for you this year?
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to hear this feedback. It motivates me also. And the year was quite hard. And actually, these things you were talking about, which were happening in freediving community, they didn't affect me much because, like, comparing to what I was experienced,
bigger issues at home, right?
Yeah. So, like, the perspective, I have quite a bigger one on what is happening in general in life. So yeah, for me it was like something happening in the small, very small community, like comparing to something which is more important for me. The people's life is more important than
I understand that, and I understand that there's a much bigger issue for you
but also maybe because it was happening right like before the competition and during the competition, so maybe I even didn't get the chance to be involved that much because I wanted to be focused on my dives and to use the energy for that. Yeah, and I was already in the competitive mode for like few months, and yeah, so maybe I wasn't involved enough.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's good not to be involved in that shit because it's not gonna do you any good to be getting involved in it. But just remind us, like, so you had a really good VB, and you got a world record in VB, right?
Yeah,
Well,
few.
you have to remind me about this again because my memory is terrible. I don't have Jordy anymore to tell me about record. And then you went to Roatan for the CMAS World Championships, where you also got the CMAS World Record in no fins. Was it what were the depths? 79, 78 for both competitions.
No, so in vertical blue I started from AIDA world record with 74 meters. Then I did 76 and 77, and I finished. Like maybe if there would be another week in vertical blue, who knows where would I end? But yeah, and in Rotan I did 78, and I already felt okay, it's enough for this year. Because it was quite exhausting.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to 80 next year.
Let's see.
You since you didn't go to Cyprus.
No.
After Rotan, you went back to Ukraine.
Yes, I was back to Ukraine for like 3 weeks. It was very intense time. I was talking about free diving like the whole day, every day, because I was giving a lot of interviews. It was quite a big deal in Ukraine. I think everybody saw some of my dives and was very inspired, and it went quite viral in my country, especially the last dive, because it was done on the Independence Day of Ukraine, which is very important day for us. And yeah, so it was a lot of attention. I was actually not ready for that, so it was another thing I had to deal with after VB, before Rotan, and after Rotan. And still I'm trying to adapt to this new role, being a world record holder, something new for me. So yeah, and I also did a few courses because people are getting more interested in learning freediving, and yeah, I made kind of tour Ukraine. I did the course in Kyiv, Kharkiv and Lviv, and yeah, and it was quite intense. And then I went to Kalamata. I wanted to finish the season with some easy dives, and to play a bit with the monofin, because it was traveling with me to the other part of the world, and I had just one dive. It was quite expensive, one dive, because I had to pay extra for every baggage I had, every luggage. And yeah, so I did my 100, like this magical number for freediver.
Okay, so you did your first 100 meters.
Yes.
Also in Kalamata.
Yeah, but on the training, for me it was enough. I didn't. So actually, for me it was not a deal to do it or in the training or in the competition, because I wanted to do it for myself. So yeah, I'm very happy, and I have some thoughts what to work on for the next season.
Well, congratulations! I can't remember you telling me that. That's it's whatever people say about numbers, and I'm not a big fan of numbers. 100 is still a very significant number, and if there's one number I think that you're going to celebrate, it's going to be that one.
Yeah.
So you're in Dahab now. You just came out the water. Your hair's still wet from teaching. Was this also a Ukrainian student that you brought to Dahab?
Yes, there are Ukrainians. One girl which I'm coaching online in the pool, and yeah, sometimes she's coming to have some depth training with me, and other girls who also will join us. They will come for the depth part of the course. because in Ukraine we don't have much opportunity to do that. So yeah, people come here if they can.
Yeah. Well, it must be quite a hell of a nice break for them right now as well.
Yeah, so now actually I'm trying to combine my base training and teaching, but it's not working. Like somebody asked me about the balance between training and teaching, and it's actually impossible. You need to choose what is more important for you, and now for me is more important this. I like consciously take this time to play around, to take it easy, to enjoy being in the water and sharing my experience. And from December I start more focused training.
Yeah, but I guess that at this point, I mean, I'm just guessing at this point, you probably feel like having a break anyway from the deep freediving, right?
Yeah, for sure. I will not go deep for a few months, because what I realized, you really need to keep that hunger to go deep, because when I started, I was very hungry and progressed pretty fast when I had the opportunity to be in the sea. But when you spend there a lot of time and do many deep dives, especially CNF, which is quite exhausting, these breaks in between, they mean maybe even more than the training itself.
Yeah. And in Dahab this time you also did some workshop with Stefan. You did some no-fins workshops. How was that?
Oh, it was amazing actually. It was my first workshop, and it was a great pleasure to work with Stefan. He has much bigger experience in teaching, and it was I think good combination of our knowledge and experience and energy. It seems like everybody was happy, including instructors. Huh?
I think that, living in Dahab and knowing Stefan, and I don't think there's anybody else in Stefan who epitomizes an athlete more than him. Like, he's really like actually the one guy who really like is training, following plans, very diligent, very disciplined, has his ups and downs, but he's such an amazing individual. And I think it's also really important to mention at this point that I'm actually older than Stefan by a couple of years. He's my junior, and it's important that we mention this every time that his name comes up on the Freedive Cafe. Love you, Stefan. Okay, so I wanted to focus a little bit this time on your training. It's I watched a lot of the dives from the competitions. I saw a lot of people going deep this year. I feel like there weren't many beautiful performances. There weren't many like technically inspiring performances, but yours definitely were. I mean, a couple of a year or two ago, you were still struggling with equalization a little bit.
I'm still
struggling with equalization.
A little bit, but a bit deeper.
Because I didn't know that you'd gone to 100, and one of the questions about equalization I wanted to ask was, was your decision to focus on no fins partly to do with the fact that you couldn't equalize deeper than that depth? But it seems like you've overcome some equalization issue, right? I mean, from 80 to 100 is quite a big jump.
I just had not enough time to get back to my depth this year, because the plan was to go to the pool world championship in Kuwait and then start training in depth. And actually VB was quite a question. And we didn't go to world championships because of our boycott. Because Russian athletes were allowed to compete.
So Russian athletes were allowed to compete again in this competition, and you, as a Ukrainian team.
And the decision of our government was to boycott those competitions to have some chance to change that, because it's like it's something bigger than just a sport. So we took this decision. It was hard because the season itself like the whole preparation was in Kharkiv. Like after Kash, I stayed in Ukraine almost all the time, like 7 months, and it was tough.
It's like an active war zone, essentially.
Yeah.
There,
Like
right?
it was hard to recover, hard mentally. And when I came back to depth in beginning of June, I realized how much stress I have. Like I had panic attack on the first of my dives, which I never experienced before, and I was very surprised, and I actually had no clue what this year is gonna bring. Yeah, it took me some time to get back, and after this 1 month in Eilat, I got back to some feeling, but it was not perfect for sure. And I was mostly focusing on CNF and and playing a bit with free immersion, just to get back to my equalization. But it was just 1 month, and I was stressed, I was tensed, it was not perfect, and I was experimenting with the new things, and I was turning before 80, like around 80 all the time. So, and my PB was 92 last year, and I was a bit upset that I cannot, like I forgot how to equalize. And when I came to Vertical Blue, it was actually the same. I was turning at 80, and when the competition started, maybe this competitive mode worked, and I like focused a bit more, and already some time passed. I adapted, and I went to 85. It was like really hard at the end, but I did it, and somehow it built up my confidence and allowed me to go to 88 at the end of the comp. But still, it was not my level. And when I arrived to Rotan, I didn't have any expectations, and I was tired after VB. I didn't want to compete at all because I was already feeling like fulfilled and realized potential, and I did my main thing I wanted to. I reminded about Ukraine, and but somehow things started to work, and I was playing with free immersion too, and I did my 92, then a bit more, and then I was struggling with 95. I turned a bit early a few times, and then I said I just put a bit more, and it worked. And on the computer it was a bit more, so I felt like, okay, it's working. And actually during the competition, when I announced 97, my alarms didn't work.
Oh, really?
yeah, like I started, and I usually have some alarm at 10, just to understand where I am. I do the first charge there, and there was nothing. I did like something, and then I realized, okay, there is nothing which is gonna work, and I had to take decision: will I turn or try to do something? I chose the second option, and it felt amazing. The dive was beautiful. I had some air left when I reached the bottom. Somehow alarm started to work at 80, but thank you, but it's quite late.
Yeah. Well, I don't use a computer anymore or alarms, and I think it's the future. I think that we should
go with
experience the dive more deeply and feel more deeply. And you feel where you are. You feel what you feel. It's like, and also I think that every day, like, we're a little bit different. We wake up with a little bit of a different condition. Maybe we need to pull a little bit deeper today. Maybe we need to go into free fall a little bit earlier today. So I'm on this mission, this one-man mission to discourage people from buying computers.
It's actually an interesting idea, because also I not always stick to the same plan, and if I even have the alarms, I also wait for the right feeling more than I need to do it right now, and it creates too much tension, especially if you're not ready yet.
Yeah.
So and I usually try to set alarms a bit earlier, so I have some
time
to do the charge, the proper one.
All right, so compared to the last year, and obviously I know like every year is different and there's a lot going on in Ukraine, and you can't choose, to have this perfect situation where you train at certain times and exactly the way that you want, and you don't have the funds to be in the place that you want to be, etc., etc. But what is the biggest change this year in terms of your training compared to last year, if there has been any?
I started to train comparing to last year.
Right, okay. Starting to train was a major leap forward for you. Okay.
Yeah, because last year I was working as a safety in Freediving World Charm.
Yeah, your rise has been pretty fast in the
I've just realized my potential, which I had already, just fixed some equalization. And this year it was more planned, focused training, and I finally started to work with a coach, with Samo Yaranko, and it was tough.
Yeah, I hear Samo's a little bit of a taskmaster, like he's pretty strict and...
Yeah, but it's like in the beginning of the season when this base training we just started to work, and I really felt that finally the recovery means a lot, that I need the recovery, because before I could do any training and do another one, and like it was quite easy. And yes, we added some gym, which was some new thing for me. And of course I'm not good in the beginning, and still a lot of things to improve. So I had this thought, okay, I'm again in this professional sports. Do I really want it? Because it was too much in my life, and here it is again, working hard and dedicating yourself, and taking your time from others.
Previously, you were in, even in the Olympics as a synchronized swimmer, so you'd already had this long background as a professional athlete, which if you haven't heard Kate's story before,
lifestyle I'm pretty familiar with. And actually I really wanted some other things to do in life, and that's why I was keeping freediving as a hobby as long as I could, but seems like life has different plans.
You're just too awesome. You're just too awesome an athlete, yeah. After this, you'll become an alpinist and climb Everest or something like that.
No.
No?
Maybe I have another challenge to build a normal life.
To build a normal life, that's the biggest challenge of all, isn't it?
And blah blah.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you if you had a coach. So you, I had known that you'd worked with Samo. I wasn't sure if that was from the beginning of the year. Did you get into your mind at some point that you were going to train specifically for the no fins world record? Was that a goal that you had, or was it something that just happened naturally as you got deeper, that it just happened? Or did you say, okay, I can do the world record, I need to train for it, this is what we're going to do? Did you work on that with Samo?
Actually, this thought about world record, it appeared even earlier in Charm. Somebody told me, why don't you go for a world record? Because I did quite easy, like 67 and blah blah, and then I did 70, and this seed somebody put in my head, and then I was thinking about it. And I felt that it's possible, because I still was like in cash when I did 70. At least the setup was not for the world record. I was overweighted, I had thick wetsuit, and even if I would change this little detail, I already could do like the same or a bit more than 70. So I already would be deeper. So at least these adjustments could be done. But about this world record itself, like I usually don't put the pressure on myself, I need to do the world record. But since this thing with boycott came out, and I didn't know if I will be allowed, like if I can compete this year at all. But it felt so hard and so unfair, and it also added some tension in the training, and I really wanted to show up at least at some competition. And it's good that we have this opportunity to do world record attempts, like separately, not in the competition. And I already paid for vertical blue fee, and I asked William if nothing's gonna change, can I come and just do my world record attempt? At least AIDA, I felt that it's possible. The water should be warmer. I can use just different suit, and it felt doable. So it was like a plan B, and actually plan A, just to go there and try to do something. So we started to focus on no fins, and I also was doing DNF in the pool.
Had you previously had a good result in DNF in the pool?
Like I did 171 in the pool last year. 171. It was quite enough, I think.
So I'm interested in how you and Samo decided to periodize the training leading up to these biggest dives of the year. How much time did you have? Did you have 3 months? Did you have 6 months? How did you break it down? Did Samo bring in a lot of strength training in the beginning and then move on into more apnea as the block went on? Was it a very structured periodization like this, or was it a bit more messy?
From Samo's side, it was structured, and from my, obviously, it was messy because I still want to combine everything, doing pool, coaching, and traveling sometimes. Yes, and I'm not the best student, to be honest. But the strength training, it was there in some proportion all the time, and you have to maintain it till the end.
So when you do strength training, are you doing are you working with the barbell, pull-ups, or are you working more body weight training or powerlifting?
We combined both. So it's nothing really special, nothing you haven't heard. It's some compound movements.
No, we need to know what the secret exercise is. The one secret exercise, especially for the leg kick. We're going to come back to that later.
Split.
But hey guys, just a little interjection here to say thank you to the new Patreon supporters this month. It's thanks to these supporters of the podcast that all of this has been possible through the years. Patrons get exclusive patron-only episodes, extended versions of the interviews, early releases, and discounts on free diving courses and training here in Dahab. So a million thank yous this month to Daniel, Sean, and DDD9137. Sorry if I missed anyone new. Visit patreon.com/Freedive Cafe to sign up and show some love. Big love to you guys, and dive safe. In terms of the strength training part, you're just doing regular strength training exercises of various kinds, but did you look at specific muscles for no fins and then target them, or was it a much more kind of full body thing the whole time?
It was actually a full body thing, and of course the upper body for arms stroke. But also, I feel that even if I wasn't doing the maximum he was giving me, as for somebody who haven't done anything before, even this small change, it gave a lot. I felt so much stronger in the pool. Even if you I come to the gym and I feel myself so bad comparing to all those people. They pushing a lot, and I'm in the very beginning of my journey in the gym, and but it's very
Next time we're going to have an arm wrestle.
and but it's actually very nice. You come back to the ground. Okay, you have still so many things to improve, and it gives this perspective I really
and
like.
they call that in English. They call that maybe the expression newbie gains. Like when you start strength training for the first time, it can be pretty profound. Like you didn't realize before that you could be strong and that you could be that strong, and it's so important, isn't it? I think it's quite a neglected part of freediving training. And more people understand that, but like for me recently, like one of the hardest things has been that I haven't been able to do the strength training, and I've lost a lot of that strength. And I like 1 week ago, so stupid, before the competition 1 week ago, I tried to do I did a workout because I just really needed to do a workout, and then like every dive for like 3 days was just like suffering the pain and the muscles and everything, so don't be an idiot like me and try to launch into a workout a week before a competition. But
you need to do it a bit before, and but also, like when you're just starting, even working on the proper technique, it already gives you so much more awareness about how your body should move, and then so much more confidence in the water. You feel you just feel strong. It's such a nice feeling. And I think for me also this gym, it helped to feel more psychologically stable. Because last year, when I just came back from Kash at home, it was a lot like a big roller coaster, ups and down with emotional part, and it took me like few months to adapt to life, and but the more I was doing the gym, I felt like maybe my hormonal system was more balanced.
You get the hormonal regulation, you get the neurotransmitters, the endorphins, the feel-good chemicals, and your body, we are meant to be moving and lifting and jumping and flipping and spinning, and when we don't do that, we don't feel good, and we might not even realize we don't feel good because we've never done that, and then we start training and you see the benefits.
So we, like when I was a synchronized swimmer, we didn't pay much attention to this part. We had some body workouts, a bit of weights, but it was not like lifting.
Was that because they didn't see the value, or because they were worried that you would put on too much muscle or something like that?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe the gaining muscle was the biggest.
Right, you had to look like feminine
amazing.
and elegant.
So, but when I started to do this, I felt like, okay, when I stop doing freediving, I will maintain gym because it's so necessary in our lives to feel good.
And then would you do like a specific work for your heart? Let's say cardio, separate from pool training. Would you do like sprints? Running sprints, cycling sprints, anything like that? Sprint intervals?
I didn't do that.
Nothing like that?
No.
Okay. No vote for sprints then. Okay.
Maybe because of my background.
Yeah, you have such a solid foundation already in the pool, right?
And I think Samo adjusting it to the person.
Well, he's smart enough to realize what you need, I guess. Look, I mean, like we have to, obviously I put out the word that I was having this conversation with you, and if anyone had any questions, and now everybody wants to know specific exercises for no fins. So like, what no fins is the most technical, the most difficult, the most challenging of all the freediving disciplines, I was diving, like relatively deep, and then anytime I switch my attention to no fins, I feel like I'm basically a cow that's been dropped in the water, especially in the first few dives. But what are the sort of like key points for someone to focus on when they are trying to learn no fins and they realize how challenging it is? Like what break it down into like what areas you should focus on.
technique. Like for me, it's the most important part. Like if I'm going deep but I look ugly, I would be not satisfied with my dive. But if I go a bit shallower and it looks nice, maybe it's from my synchronized swimming background. I have some extra points for execution from myself.
what you say there is that you're kind of equating the beauty and elegance of the dive with good technique, and I love that, because I think that's something that that people might forget sometimes, is that something Aaron Solomon said to me. He has quite a controversial character, and he was talking about how he laments that there's not enough freedivers to focus on the grace of the dive, like how beautiful the dive is, and that might sound like a romantic idea, but of course when we see beautiful, graceful diving, what we're seeing is technique coming to as close to perfection as possible. But like how much of that technique do you need to drill in the pool, or in depth, and how much is like finding these little secrets, let's say? Is it just constant drilling, or is it?
Yeah, it's drilling and finding your own way to do this, because of course everybody has different background, have different body, and of course like maybe my technique is not going to suit to everyone, so you need to find your best way to move in the water and to make it automatic, so you're not gonna think about it when you're in the water. Your body just will move you, and you can focus on other things like relaxation. So yeah, I'm really a fan of pool training. I would recommend it, and I think many deep free divers have to do this. So because simply you cannot do so many repetitions in depth, and in the pool you can do a lot, and because actually the good technique, this is the thing which brings you down and back. It's just the work.
Right. Okay. We need to know the specific dry exercises for the leg kick. Please tell us what it is.
From the beginning, like you should understand the mechanic of movement, and maybe not to bring your legs too wide, and and still stay comfortable. I don't know, like which specific drill to
I
give
think
you.
people want to see you like saying, stand up, do this, 3 times 10, something like that. I know it doesn't work like that. I'm obviously like a dumbass, and I'm also not a very good no-fins diver, but the only thing that got me actually like moving through the water in the pool was someone kind of forcing me to do like 10 times 50 no-fins. When I had never done even a 50-meter no-fins before, they just kind of like forced me to do it.
And imagine if you would do this for a year.
Exactly, yeah. And then I suffered, but by like the 7th dive, I was like, okay, like a couple of those leg kicks, I actually felt something different. Like I caught the water. I felt that I really caught it, and it was maybe like 1 in 10 leg kicks. I got that, but you start to kind of program your body to recognize that feeling, and then it becomes more subconscious, right?
So more useful will be to play in the pool, to do just the leg kicks or just the arm kicks and together, and to do as less cycles as you can per lap.
That's kind of fun as well, right? If you make it a little bit, if you gamify it a little bit to like make the challenge, how few cycles can I do in the 25-meter pool?
Yes, and also you will start to feel the glide a bit more, and which movement exactly gives you more propulsion and more glide. yeah, you will start to be more aware of what you're doing, because when you go to depth, you have this extra buoyancy in the beginning, and you're already suffering on the way up. So, yeah, usually technique is the last thing people think about, but in the pool, you can really focus on that.
Buoyancy is incredibly important as well in no fins, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But also in the depth, it fascinates me as well. Like, I think you can tell me like how important the like having the minimal thickness of wetsuit is, right? That we don't have that change of
buoyancy
from the top and the bottom,
and
with
we
the
don't
wetsuit
need to
thickness.
carry so much weight.
Yeah.
For example, last year I had 2 meal and 1.4 kilos, and this year I had 1 meal and 7.5.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's not the main thing, but it changed a lot. I had so much more pleasure doing that, and I didn't think about going up at all.
Yeah, yeah. I think. Do you think that a lot of people they might actually miss this point, that if they're doing their no fins dives and they're in a 3 mil wetsuit and maybe they're wearing like 2 kilos, and they're really struggling on the first part of the ascent, that they think it's their physical condition or their technique is the problem, that they're getting so tired. But maybe if they adjusted the wetsuit thickness, it could make a massive difference.
Yeah, of course it will make massive difference, but also if you can do it in 3 mil wetsuit, when you switch to the thinner one, it will make so much difference.
Total badass. Yeah.
Yeah. So this first part, it really depends on how effective is your duck dive. Also, the thing to work on. Yeah, like people so focusing on going down, they forget about the basics. So yeah, like at the end there is not much secret. It's just paying attention to every part of the dive and trying to make it better, and that's all.
Okay, I'm gonna watch more videos of you and copy you, and we'll see how we get on. Let's how careful have you been with your diet and your nutrition this year? Have you followed a specific protocol, or is it not like a major thing for you?
No, it's not a major thing for me, but it could be better, of course. Obviously, it was more healthy than last year. I really tried to keep the balance.
Do you drink alcohol as well?
Yeah, sometimes. It's the balance, you know. Yeah, but not much. And of course, closer to the competition, I excluded. But yeah, in our sports, we need this mental part to be okay. Sometimes this socialization, going with some good glass of wine, can help so much more than having a strict diet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to make it as easy as possible, because I also had this experience being a vegan for like 4 years. And when I started to eat meat again, like this feeling that I have so much more options in my life, so much more freedom, it made me feel much better than the excluding of animal products at all. So yeah, I try to make it easy.
Yeah, I was also, fully plant-based for I think about 3 years, and I really tried, and I would love to be able to do that again, but for me, it was so much hard work. I was also like doing like long distance trail as well, so I was trying to get like 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day sometimes, just from a lot of like plant-based foods. And when I switched back to meat, I really just felt a relief that I was able to eat more efficiently.
And there's so much more options.
Yeah.
And
sorry, animals.
Yeah, but like life can be different, and many animals eat animals, and like of course I would like to avoid that, but yeah, this is how it is. And sometimes I'm doing like some vegan diet on purpose. For example, if I feel that I'm getting a bit sick, I try to make it lighter, and and also, I don't know. For me, like just keeping the balanced diet, or being vegan and traveling, it's very hard. Like because if you stay at one place and you cook yourself, it's one thing, but
like if you went to Sharm and you stayed at one of those hotels and you only had the option of the menu from the hotel, like if they didn't have, they
don't care about vegans at all. Like I'm not staying in the hotels, but sometimes it's harder. So, and it also to be, I think it's good to be ready for all the options, and not to get poisoned from something animal if you will accidentally eat it.
Right. Which happens quite often here in Dahab. Are you? Is there anything? It's very hard to ask people like what they eat, but is there anything that you won't eat, that you absolutely don't eat in your diet? No.
I don't remember. Maybe
Anything
something
goes?
not tasty, but usually I eat everything. Maybe not so like fat meat.
But it's not like bread you don't eat, or sugar you don't eat, or caffeine.
I eat everything, but sometimes I try to make less sugar in my life, and it actually I feel the effect, but I can actually keep diving at the same level, eating everything.
Yeah.
And maybe I will reach this like limit, and then I will start to think about this small thing.
You will. Maybe it's once you hit 80 meters, you'll start having to make some change. Okay.
Or maybe I will start thinking about kids more.
Maybe by the time you're diving 100 meters no fins, you'll be living purely on sunlight and air.
No, but like food is one of the biggest pleasure in life,
yes.
Especially like for me, being an athlete, and when we spend so much time in the pool doing synchronized swimming, like when you come out after like 3 or 4 hours in the water, you dream about the food, I really appreciate this opportunity to eat and eat good, and it's the easiest way to feel happy.
Yes, 100% agree. Okay, so diet is fairly wide-ranging, and you don't have such big limitations. But what about supplementation? Did Samo try to get you on supplementation? You tried?
No, actually, it was the opposite. Like I was trying to ask what should I keep, like what should I do for like gym, for example, like this. Common things,
creatine, whey protein,
and he said like it should be as least as possible. So like protein, we kept it, and sometimes maybe some creatine, but not much. Actually, before I was using much more things like creatine, beta-alanine, and citrulline, and this year, no, I was fucking clean.
Clean, yeah. It's such a duplicate with your citrulline and your beta-alanine. Did you like that itchy feeling you get in your face when you take beta-alanine? It's so weird, huh?
It was weird. Like, I was experimenting. I heard it somewhere that some people do this, and but at the end, you understand that all this stuff, it's coming from the fear that you're not gonna be able to do this. And when I stopped eating all that stuff, I felt like, I rely only on myself, and it's such an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I think it's also like protein as well. I think that most people are taking protein supplements and powders that it's completely unnecessary, and they have to look and think like, why is it that I don't get the protein from the food that I eat? Is it because I'm eating like too many carbs and there's not enough room for protein at the end? Is it because I'm eating like curries with sauces rather than eating like just a chicken breast, which has like 40 grams of protein in it right there, or something like that? And that you can tweak your diet or make your diet more simple to bring you to a better condition with protein and macronutrients?
Actually, even with protein, it's not the thing I'm taking every time. Maybe just during the competition to recover faster and the pre-competition phase, because it's very intense and sometimes I have no opportunity to eat good food right after.
Yeah.
And obviously before I'm not eating, so...
Yeah, so like in the Bahamas, you're at the Blue Hole, so like you probably have to wait like several hours before you can get to a
just
place
to make
eat.
sure that, I'm not gonna...
During the competitions, obviously you don't do the same kind of strength workouts during the competitions as you would do in the preparatory phase, but would you still do like some kind of like easy workout just to keep the muscles like feeling toned or blood flowing?
I try to, like, especially before, but during the competition sometimes it's not possible because you can be already close to overtraining and recovery is more important.
Tell us about Sao. Is it still
alive.
Operational?
It's still alive.
Sao is your clothing and swimwear brand,
right? Mostly.
Yeah. Last time you were telling me that despite the fact that Ukraine was being invaded and occupied, you were still managing to keep the manufacturing going in Kyiv. Is that correct? Is it still like this?
It's in Kharkiv actually.
Okay.
It's even closer to the epicenter. We keep doing it. I have like a few more people who started to help me. It's still not looking the way I would like to, because obviously I was focusing on other things. And when I was in the Bahamas, like the whole summer actually, when I'm focusing on my training, I cannot think after. Like all my energy goes for recovery, and I have to stop doing everything. So it's a challenge for me somehow to organize this working thing, so I don't have to be that involved. But it's nice. Somehow it's developing. We are working on the new website, so it's gonna be more international, customers friendly. I hope. Because now. We have this international delivery, but it's not like very comfy for everyone. And we have this like small collaboration with Dahab Freedivers with the towels, and it's nice to see many freedivers in Blue Hole with these towels, with these fishes.
So you have the towels with the Dahab Freedivers logo on them, which are if you're in Dahab, you can go on over there, which is about 30 meters away, and pick up some
you can
gear.
go to for towels there, like special edition for the Dahab Freedivers, and we have some swimwear in Fourth Element store.
Okay. That's the store in the
right.
square.
Another 30 meter. So somehow we are moving in our own with our own speed. And it's nice. It's also like a different way to do things. Like you don't need to rush, and it's also in some kind of freediving way to do this. Not compare yourself to others, not to rush. To grow when you're ready.
When are you gonna get some speedos for guys?
I think for this season I have to do it, because you're like maybe 20th person who is asking for.
I'm still wearing like the same decathlon speedos I've been wearing for 3 years, and you can see everything through them now. Like the fabric is like worn away. It's very hard to get this kind of thing here in Egypt, and I would happily wear your Sao speedos whenever they emerge.
Because girls are already. I see many people in Sao swimwear, so I would be happy to see some guys.
Nice. Okay. I'll be not a model, but I'll represent. So how long are you staying in Dahab for?
Till 29th.
Okay, so you
And
have,
then I'm going straight to Kiev, and we have a pool championship there. I'm gonna be a judge.
Oh, is that the Ukrainian nationals?
Yeah, it's
But you
AIDA Nationals.
Will you compete and judge at the
No,
same
no,
time?
no, it's not possible.
But why are you not competing then?
Why should I?
Okay, I don't know.
You know, it's always some people say, "Oh, I'm not gonna compete because the top athletes compete, so I have no opportunity to win or something." And I didn't train pool, so I have no intention to do something big there. And I let somebody else to take this title.
Right.
And I also would be happy to be a part of this event, being a judge. So
it's nice for the ego as well, isn't it, to kind of step back and not have to be involved so much in the competitive aspect of freediving?
I think we finally are okay with my ego, and I don't need to compete to feel good.
Yeah, good.
And if I compete, it's just because I want to, because I'm ready, because I was training, and I want to have some logical point to have some feedback, what to work on next. It's a kind of part of preparation, this competition thing. And with ego we were working a lot, and finally I feel that it's not, of course, not 100% worked, but it's better. Every year is better.
So what are your plans for next year? Are you already thinking about numbers or competitions?
I'm thinking, but there is nothing I could talk about, because still, one thing, the pool championship, CIMAS, which I would like to compete in, it will be in the beginning of July. It's very
close to VB.
Yeah, it's very close. It's few days.
Right. Okay. This is not. You have to prioritize VB over that, right?
I don't know what I should prioritize, because this championship will be the selection for the World Games, and as we have this federation running in Ukraine, it would be a good thing to do for sports development itself. So I would like to compete in that comp, but let's see, maybe there is another way to
I
qualify.
was hoping you would come by. He was like, I had something food here before. He was so angry that he couldn't walk past. He's such an asshole, that guy. Whatever it is that you decide to do, I wish you all the best. I wish you an amazing amount of success. I know that it's there's a lot of stuff going on at home, and it's not easy to balance your life as a freediving athlete and thinking about your family and everyone else at the same time. But
it's hard, but it's very rewarding. At the end, I come from this background, from this hard preparation, and having these thoughts in my mind. But then I enjoy even more just the opportunity to be in the sea, just to dive, and most of the times it doesn't really matter if I go really deep or a bit less deep, a bit shallower. What is the main insight from this year, that this feeling that the dive should be beautiful not only outside but from the inside. And I got very inspired just from diving next to the deepest freedivers in the Versica Blue, and the atmosphere was pretty amazing, and these dives were very transformational. And of course I was diving for the world record, and I went through all the nervous part of announcing it before. But when I came there, especially the last dive, it was amazing. I didn't achieve it. It just happened because I was ready. Everything was ready, and I just came and did it. And this is how it should be done, not from pushing, but just from constant work, and then just letting yourself do what you can. And yeah, it's something what we're searching for in freediving. Why we freedive, to become better version of ourselves. And yeah, really wish this to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that was so beautifully said, and thank you for inspiring me, because you personally, I think I've always said, I don't give a damn about Alexei and Will and all those guys. Like, I never got like a fanboy thing for those guys, but I think I'm developing a fanboy thing for Kateryna Sadurska.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm also not really good in making idols, but yeah, there are some people who inspire me a lot. And now I'm diving here with Kateryna Sadurska, and I'm learning a lot from her approach. It's such a deep person, and I'm not talking about numbers. It's like the way she's doing that. And be ready. Like, of course she could push all the time, but she's waiting for that right feeling and right moment, because otherwise
what's the point?
Yeah, at the end, these numbers, they're not gonna mean anything. But the quality of the dive can change a lot. For example, a day ago, I did a beautiful dive, like to 60 meters snow fins in the blue hole here. Like, it's quite not very deep, but it was very transformative. I felt this like it's like a point where I see the path I went through, this journey behind, because I was starting my freediving here. I was struggling a lot with the equalisation. I remember how I was attempting first 15 meters like a lot, and I was pushing and didn't work. And then I did this 60 so easy, so with so much joy, and with the power and feeling that everything is working. I felt like a grown-up orca. That I'm not junior anymore. Like, I finally learned something about freediving, about the approach, about life. And of course, it's not only approach, it's the work on the details, like equalization and strength and technique and everything. But yeah, when it comes together, it's the magic.
I'm amazingly happy for you that you're having joyful dives. I think it's so important, and I hope everyone else out there remembers to have joyful dives, and also, if they're not, to maybe stop for a while or, try something different. Just to finish up here, last time I asked you, of course, like I ask everyone else, why you free dive. I think you kind of answered in the last little part there. Like, it's clear that you free dive for something deeper than just numbers and achievements and records. So yeah, thank you for coming back and joining me here at I guess it's the official Freedive Cafe.
Yeah,
that's all we got.
Next time.
Yeah, and maybe a French press or something like that. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you.
We'll do
Thank
this
you for inviting
this again next time, and see where you are at that point. And until then, dive safe. That was Kateryna Sadurska. Absolutely pleasure to have her visit the Little Blue and chat with me on location there on the Dahab waterfront. Keep up to date with what's going on my Instagram, Freedive and Thrive. Again, check out the YouTube channel, Freedive and Thrive. The video version of this interview is there. If you would like to get in touch, then you can do that through Instagram or email me at donny@freediveandthrive.com. I'm looking forward to welcome you here in Dahab this year for freediving courses and training. Otherwise, wherever you are in the world, dive safe.